Okay, I'm going to show you guys a few things on your coin purse. Okay, so imagine that I have this opened up as a rectangle, and then I folded it so that I have, oh goodness, I don't know how much that would be. You want 3 parts, right? So this is going to be your little flap. This is the bottom section, and this is the part you're going to sew this side, and you're going to sew this side. But before I show you that, some of you didn't quite finish binding off, and I will send you a video, or I'll have that on your email as well. But the binding off part, when you get to the last stitch on binding off, it should look something like this. You should have, you know, a little tail and a little loop, and so you're going to cut, and then just put this end through the loop there. That's your last stitch, and you can just kind of pull it tight, and it will make a little bit of a knot there. It won't come undone. Then any of these ends that you have, you can weave them in using a crochet hook is what I usually do. Hold on, let me get my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so you're gonna take this in, and you don't have to weave this whole amount in, but just some of it, and then you can always cut off some. But you would go inside some of these stitches, just kind of stick it in with the crochet hook, and then pull it through, okay? And then you'll just keep doing that, going across. I would go this way with it. So you're just you're gonna pull it through some of these stitches so that it's hidden, and it kind of locks it in, okay? And instead of tying a knot and then cutting it off, because this is much more secure, okay? So you're just gonna kind of weave it back and forth, and whatever stitches you'd like it to go in, you want it to hide it as best as possible. Does that make sense? Oh, I think I just pulled it right back through the same stitch. I need better glasses. Okay, we're gonna pull it through this one. There we go. Anyway, you're gonna pull it through, probably, maybe you wanna do 4 or 5 stitches on down. And then you can trim off that end, and you won't have to worry about this coming unraveled. And then once you've got this woven in, you can start sewing up your sides. And I showed you in class how to get started on it coming from behind the project. So you're gonna come up with the needle, up from behind, out to the from the front, out the front. Leave a nice tail here that you will weave in when you're done, but you're not gonna do a knot. All right, and so once you've come up the front like I have, you're gonna go over the project, so it's gonna wrap over like that, and you're gonna go back on the back of the project again and come up to the front. And that's how you do an over stitch. So it should be over it, like that. And then you'll do it again. Go to the back, come up the front, like that. And it should be kind of like at a diagonal when you go over, like that. Okay, you're gonna keep going all the way across, and then you'll since you've got your thread or yarn on your needle, you can just stitch in your ends. So let's pretend I'm all the way at the end. I would just take my needle and go into the stitches with it and pull it through, and that's how I would weave it in. So you don't have to use a crochet hook on the end of that. And then just snip it off, but you'll need to weave in your first tail. Once you're done with that, you'll do the other side the same way, and then you'll have a coin purse. You'll just need to put a clasp on the front, okay? So let's pretend I've got everything woven in and done, and I want to show you how we're gonna do the clasp, okay? So I gave you these in class. And here are the parts. You should have 4 pieces, just like that. Can you hold it like this? Thank you. And some of these 2 in the middle, one is thick and one is thin, right? So you want your thick one to be on this part of your purse and the thin one to be on the flap, okay? Because that's going to be, you don't want it to be too heavy. All right, so let's do the thick piece first. As you can see, these prongs will go right in between your stitches, so you just need to measure like about halfway across, and that's, you want it to be nice and centered, and kind of just wiggle it until you can find a way to get the prongs through the stitches. And then you're going to grab one of these little discs and you kind of fit it together with the prongs and squeeze as much as you can, squeeze them together, and then you're going to flatten your prongs down towards the center. Okay, so you should have a little, just a little circle. Now it's stuck on there. All right, you'll do the same thing for the thin piece, only you're gonna want to go ahead and stick it on to the magnet and then fold so that you can just measure how it's gonna come up. Okay, so now I've got my prongs coming through. I'm gonna add my disc, squeeze, fold the prongs in. Okay, and then you're nice and clasped up. You can take your button and you can glue your button with hot glue or Gorilla Glue or whatever you want to use that will just put it maybe on just the metal parts and then glue it on, hold it good and tight, and now you'll have a completed coin purse that works. Okay, so when you want to unclasp it, it's just magnetized, and it's easier to do with two hands, but all right, so there's the coin purse. That's your knitted coin purse. If you have questions about how to sew up the sides or put the clasps on or weave in, please email me back and I will help you. Thank you.